you very much. Thank you for inviting me. I work on the boundary of big data and psychometrics, so I think all of you probably already know what big data is, and you've heard a lot about it at this event, but maybe you know a bit less about psychometrics. So the simple way to introduce it to you is really, it's the science of asking questions. So by asking questions, we can understand things about individuals, we can understand their behavior, both past and future, and we can also understand their psychological traits. And what I'm interested in is the degree to which big data reveals those psychological traits. And if you think about, rather than asking questions, instead trying to find answers to the questions within the data, then you can start to see this big data in a very different way. And these answers that we're looking for are contained in all of the digital footprints that we generate. So social media is, of course, one of the platforms on which we generate lots of different kinds of digital footprint data, but it's not necessarily the only type, and smartphones more generally are generating data about our psychology all of the time. So our language reveals our personality. This is something that computer models can pick up on now. Here you see examples of the differences in language used by extroverted people and introverted people. Our music preferences also reveal different our psychologies. So here you see an example again of extroverts on the left more likely to listen to hip-hop and R&B music, whereas people who are lower in extroversion more likely to be interested in metal music and indie music. So it's not just about completing a psychological questionnaire or using Facebook, it's also that your psychology is inscribed in lots of different behaviors that are increasingly digitized. We've put some of this technology out into the public to let people find out about their own data, and you can try this for yourself at applyedmagicsource.com, but this is really just bringing together those two sides, big data and psychometrics. Right now we have a serious problem with trust in the industry and in academia, I would say, as well. So only 29% of people think that most companies with access to the data use it ethically. So although there are all of these exciting predictions you can make and all of the psychological insight that you can derive from big data, it's not really any use unless you get the relationship between the users and the organizations right. So I think that we're in a situation right now where we really need to balance the impact and responsibility of big data psychometrics in order to make sure that everyone can benefit from these technologies. Another problem, aside from the user trust, is machine bias. So as artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques become more and more accessible, we will need to get better at uncovering the discrimination that these algorithms might be prone to. So it's not that the algorithm is coming to its decisions in the wrong way, it's that the algorithm is picking up on prejudices that humans actually have. So maybe we could use some of these techniques to uncover and better understand prejudices in human society rather than replicating them in the algorithms that we use more and more in digital society. So finally, just some ideas of a kind of a framework of maybe thinking about this and some principles that have emerged from our research. I think the first is that users need to have control of the data, so we don't believe in predictions being made without consent. Secondly, there should be transparency. So if big data and psychometric approaches are used on your data, then and something is found out about you, then you should see the result of that. So we believe in predictions being made with consent and in the results of those predictions being shared. Thirdly, there should be a benefit, so this should be used for a relevant use, for example, to improve customer experience. And finally, there should be a relevant link between the data being used and the result. So it's no good asking for my social media data if you'll use it in some kind of black box algorithm where I won't understand why it's affected my credit rating or something like that. So we believe that bringing out this link between the data and the prediction will help both customers better understand how their data is used to deliver services, and hopefully also help organizations have a better relationship based on trust with their customers. Thank you very much.
Да, спасибо, Веселин.